An Indiana State Police trooper wounded in a Daviess County shootout prepares to return to work. The Jasper Board of Public Works discusses plans for this year's Strassenfest, and sports with Kurt Guchsel. Those stories and much more are up next here on 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. In your news, an Indiana State Police trooper from the Jasper Post wounded in the line of duty last week will soon be back on the job. Trooper Jared Lentz of Lagodi was wounded on Monday of last week in an exchange of gunfire with a 60-year-old Shoals man who police say was robbing the Black Oak Armaments gun shop in Montgomery. The 9-year veteran of the force was struck multiple times during the incident and was treated at an Evansville hospital and released that same night. The man suspected of shooting Lentz, 60-year-old James Jones of Shoals, died at the scene. State police officials expect Lentz to be back to full-duty status on Monday. Lentz himself is ready to go, but some of his equipment that was damaged during the incident, most notably body armor, must be replaced. Once his replacement equipment has arrived, Lentz will return to work. Yesterday morning, the Jasper Board of Public Works and Safety discussed the details for this year's Strassenfest. Street closures will be much the same as they were last year and will start on Monday, July 29th at 6 p.m. The roads will remain closed until Sunday, August 4th at 5 p.m. Jasper Mayor Terry Seitz says the closure of the square downtown will be one of the significant changes for this year's Strassenfest.
One thing that'd be significant for those visiting in downtown, working in downtown, we've authorized the official closure of the square on Friday of Strassenfest at 10 o'clock, and we have 7 food booths from the Strassenfest this year that have agreed to serve lunch. So basically, the Strassenfest will be open serving food Friday at lunchtime, and that adds a nice component that I know that Westside Nut Club at Evansville does that during their fall festival, and I think it's really a great idea. The committee wants to do this.
The square is set to close on Friday, August 2nd at 10 a.m. and 7 food booths will open at 11 a.m. The square will be closed until 1 a.m. on Saturday, August 3rd. Seitz says the return of fireworks for this year's Strassenfest will be a big draw.
We welcome the return of fireworks to a closing ceremony, more or less, on Sunday night, or at least a closing event, and that's something, pending any awful weather between now and then that gets really dry, that we'll have fireworks at the closing of the Strassenfest on the parade Sunday.
This year's Strassenfest is set for August 1st through the 4th. Usage of city property for Strassenfest events will be enforced starting on Wednesday, July 31st, for parking at entertainment acts, as well as at the J.C. Biergarten. Earlier this week, the North Spencer School Board announced the new principal for Nancy Hanks Elementary School in Ferdinand. Jody Schmidt, a Jasper native, has a total of 9 years of education under her belt. She says success and safety are her 2 points of emphasis going into her new role as principal.
I hope to have successful students. I hope to have students accepted, and by successful I mean at their own success level too. That's very important. I hope to make sure that the school is very safe, make sure that it's secure. I know that that is a huge concern right now. It is of mine, and it should be of everyone's. Just build relationships and start to get to know people.
Schmidt has several items on the docket to attend to this fall. Her goal is not to change everything that is already in place, but to first learn about the students and improve on what they already know.
My first order of business is to sit back, watch what's going on, and see what they're already doing. I know they have had a lot of change at that school, and I'm not coming in to change everything that they know. I want to get to know everybody. I want to see what they already have in place that I can improve on. That's my first order of business.
A graduate of Indiana State University, Schmidt taught right out of college, teaching 4th and 6th grades. She was the assistant principal at Southeast Fountain Elementary in Fountain County, just north of Terre Haute, for 3.5 years before being offered the principal position at Nancy Hanks. Members of the 2013 Du Bois County Leadership Academy are seeking emergency assistance lighting towers along walking paths throughout the county. The group made a pitch to have an expandable system of assistance lighting towers put into place during yesterday's Jasper Board of Public Works meeting. The group says it hopes to establish the foundation for this system prior to August of this year, while giving it over to a host organization that would handle the system going forward. Joshua Gunselman with the Du Bois County Leadership Academy says the goal of this system would be to diminish the impact of serious accidents, medical emergencies, or threats of potential harm along the county's walking trails.
There are always scenarios that could occur anywhere, but what we're trying to diminish or lessen the severity of would be in the event of a medical emergency, shorten the response time, either to first make first contact with emergency dispatch or lessen the time of getting medical need to the person. Any other kind of emergency event in which someone would need to contact authorities.
Gunselman says in time, the group may also push to have the towers added along city streets as well as near schools.
I would certainly think so. While we haven't addressed it internally or with anyone else we spoke about, case in point, there's a walking path that runs past the middle school out on the high school out on St. Charles, and I believe the anticipated goal is that that walking trail will continue to be grown around the city. Certainly, cases and points where they could be placed on a situation like that, or near schools, or et cetera.
The group is also planning to hold a safety stroll next month through Jasper. The event is scheduled for July 20th at 8 a.m. and will start at the Riverwalk area and go northward to 15th Street and then back again. Members of the Du Bois County Leadership Academy class of 2013 will be sponsoring the event. There is no registration fee for the stroll, but donations are being accepted. Donations may be sent to the Du Bois County Community Foundation, care of the DCLA Emergency Assistance Tower Fund, 600 McCrillis Street, Jasper, Indiana, 47547. Indiana soybean planting is almost finished, according to a recent report. This week's edition of the Indiana Crop and Weather Report, which was released on Monday, shows that 96% of intended soybean acreage across the state is planted. Although still behind last year's pace of 100%, that number is slightly above the 5-year average of 94% planted and is up from 93% last week. 90% of the planted soybeans have emerged, which is above the 86% 5-year average, but is 9% less than that same number from a year ago. Last week at this time, 83% of planted soybeans had emerged. Most corn and soybeans across Indiana are listed in either fair or good condition, according to the report. 20% of corn across the state is listed in fair condition and 55% is in good condition. 21% of corn is considered to be in excellent condition. For soybeans, 24% of the crop is listed in fair condition, 55% is in good condition, and 17% is classified as being in excellent condition. Today marked the 4th day of the Spencer County 4-H Fair. Yesterday's events were highlighted by the opening of the 4-H exhibits, shooting sports demonstrations, and a battle of the barns. Spencer County Purdue Extension educator Larry Dement says 4-H is an important learning experience for the kids that are involved.
They have an opportunity, the kids do, to join 4-H and be a learning experience. It's not always about the ribbon that they get. It's about the process of how they come about putting those projects together and learning during that time.
Dement says 4-H is also an opportunity for parents and others in the community.
4-H I think is very important. I say that because I was a 10-year member myself and been a volunteer before I was fortunate enough to become an extension educator. Those families really encourage their kids to take part along with their friends and family in the community, and they come together and they're here because they want to be here, and it's fun to work with those individuals.
All events at the Spencer County Fair are open to the public. A $5 parking fee began to be charged today and will be in effect through Saturday. The Spencer County 4-H Fair is scheduled to end this upcoming Sunday, June 30th. For more information, you can call 649-6022. And a final programming note for you this evening. The Ferdinand Heimatfest Queen Pageant will air tomorrow on 18 WJTS following the 7 p.m. newscast. The program will also air on Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, the Ferdinand Heimatfest Queen Pageant will air tomorrow evening on 18 WJTS, following the 7 p.m. newscast, and again on Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Coming up after the break, your local forecast, sports with Kurt Guxell, and Inform with Beth Head and Michael Kern discussing the DC Youth Triathlon. That's all up next here on 18 WJTS News. Local people watching local people.